Hello and welcome to Life in Frameworks. Today we will discuss about the framework inspired by Robert Kiyosaki in his bestseller Rich Dad Poor Dad to provide a step-by-step approach to become financially independent by creating multiple streams of income. In this video, we will discuss as to why we feel unsatisfied from our jobs and how can financial independence help us to overcome it to live a very fulfilled life. Then we will discuss and take a first step towards financial independence by understanding how to generate cash flows and how can we become completely independent by following the process. Our approach to money is limited due to the typical life path that has been taught to us. It is only after it's too late that we realize we have lost a sense of purpose in life. We are frustrated by our daily occupation but unable to leave due to financial constraints, resulting in midlife crisis. We hate our job because we are not passionate about it or what we are doing, and we are unable to leave because we are financially weak. A life path can be divided into different stages. We start with the physical growth, which covers our traditional schools, societal learnings, ideals taught to us by parents. The mental growth phase then refers to the growth of mind, which we are taught by analytical and logical reasoning. Our school and college education prepares us for these two stages, and this prepares us for a good job. But the next two phases of life is what really keeps us happy and provides us fulfillment. Emotional and spiritual growth is obtained when we truly find a purpose in life and strive to progress happily. While physical and mental growth fulfills our needs, emotional and spiritual fulfills our inner desires. We are able to progress in our emotional and spiritual path once we don't need to take care of day-to-day expenses and we are financially secure. So what exactly is financial independence? It is the status of having enough money to pay one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. Only once you're financially free, we can focus on working on our emotional and spiritual path of finding our purpose and to live a happy, fulfilling life. As discussed in part 1 of the video, please watch the part 1 of the video before you go further, link at the top right corner. To become financially free, you need to generate multiple cash flows apart from your salary. And in order to build multiple cash flows, you need to build assets that would eventually provide more income than your daily salary. To begin, we need to understand the different kind of assets that we need to develop in order to diversify our cash flows and eventually become financially independent. Now let's understand the framework which helps us to categorize the different kinds of cash flows. The Cashflow Quadrant framework is divided into 4 parts: E, S, B and I. E stands for employees, S for self-employed, B for business owner and I for investor. The employees have a stable source of income with benefits. They feel secure, but this certainty can transform into uncertainty in times of job loss or medical crisis. The self-employed are the do-it-yourselves and they work hard. They expect to get paid for their hard work. They have a hard time hiring people and are integral parts of day-to-day operations of their businesses. That is, they need to work to earn. The business cannot run without the owner. For the business owner, they have a system in which they can delegate work and they do not need to work daily to sustain operations. The business operations run without the owner. They just think and create long-term plans. The investor. This is the playground for the rich, where the money works for you. You get paid without working daily for the business. To understand how you will apply this framework, let's divide the quadrants into 2 parts. The left quadrant covers the asset that you can develop using your education, example as a job, freelancer, external consultant, etc. Cash flow from this quadrant is limited, but once you are consistent in this quadrant, you need to start moving to the right quadrant by building a sizable capital. The right quadrant is where you will generate long-term wealth. College education makes you prepared for E or S, but to become rich, you need to be in B or I. Now let us understand some jargons. OPT stands for other people time and OPM stands for other people money. In the left quadrant, you work for the other people. In the right quadrant, you work for freedom of time and money. More than 80% of the cash flows of poor people come from the left quadrant and they are dependent on it. More than 70% of the cash flows of financially free people come from the right quadrant. So as we go from left to right, risk and reward increases. Now let us delve into a step-by-step approach for you to apply this framework. Let's assume a scenario where you already have a stable job. Now you need to evolve by learning new skills about which you are passionate to perform, for example, freelance activities, workshops, consulting. You can also mentor someone, develop some online business, etc. The goal is to develop cash flows in the left quadrant to build a capital in order to shift to the right quadrant. Learn and invest in capital stocks, bonds, and digital assets in the right quadrant. Buy real estate, gold, or invest in other startups. You can also grow your small business into a large business by entering into the B segment, by hiring people and setting up processes and systems. Your goal is to shift to the right quadrant. In conclusion, to become financially free, one needs to move from E quadrant to S or B quadrant and eventually move to I quadrant, which is the playground of the rich. Subscribe for more content like this and please like the video. Thank you. See you next time.